Welcome to NewPointe Online. My name is Meredith and I work on both our Canton and our campus support teams. We want you to know that this online service has been built with you in mind. So wherever, whenever, and however you're watching, welcome. We hope that something you see today really impacts you and inspires you to take a next step in your faith. We are so excited you're here. Let's get started.
Christ is my firm foundation, the rock on which I stand when everything around me is shaking. I've never been more glad that I put my faith in Jesus, 'cause He's never let me down. He's faithful through generations. So why would He fail now? He won't. No, 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 no. I've still got joy in chaos. I've got peace that makes no sense. So I won't be going under. I'm not held by my own strength, 'cause I built my life on Jesus. Yes, I did, 'cause He's never let me down. He's faithful in every season. So why would He fail now? He won't. On you, I say
In the early years of our marriage, I was in a conversation, a little bit more of a fight with my wife, and I honestly don't remember what we were fighting about. Could have been about 100 different things. What I do know is whatever that we were fighting about, it wasn't really like the thing. There was something beneath the thing that had been bothering her for a while, and I had no idea. And I remember at the end of our conversation, when we kind of got so frustrated with each other, where we just kind of needed to separate for a little while, I took off in one direction, she took off in another direction. As she was walking away from me, I vividly remember this. She stopped. She slowly turned and just looked at me and said, "I just feel like we're roommates." And there it was. That was the thing beneath the thing. And one of the things I have come to believe that's true for so many of us is that one of the most discouraging and lonely places in life is to be in a marriage that is void of friendship. I mean, that's what she was really saying when she said, we're just roommates. That is that we didn't have this companionship that she was longing for. And what had happened to our marriage is we had slowly slid into this place of just having a marriage that's functional, a relationship that is simply just functioning from day to day, and we weren't really connecting on a deeper level. And I really believe that for healthy marriages, in order for a marriage to really be thriving, one of the most critical components of that marriage to be in a really good place is having a solid friendship. In fact, in a lot of the premarital counseling I do, a lot of the marriage books that I read, of all the topics and things that are talked about, one of the things I have a hard time finding content on is the importance of friendship and building that in marriage. And so what I want to just spend a little time with you today talking about is how do we tend to a healthy marriage and creating friendship. Every healthy marriage is a result of a well-tended friendship. So I've done something, a little bit of a pastor trick, so you just have to bear with me, but I've taken that word friend. There's lots of components that go into maintaining and building a friendship in your marriage relationships, but I've taken the word friend, put it into acrostic, one idea or thought that helps build or maintain friendship in marriage with each 6 of those letters. The first of those, the F, is for fun. I mean, are you currently having fun in your marriage? I mean, fun is, every friendship has an element of fun. But what often happens is for marriages and relationships that stop having fun together, it's a quick road to functional. This is what Ecclesiastes 9:9 says. It says, live happily with the woman you love. The wife God gives you is your reward for your earthly toil. God intends for our marriage, for our friendship in marriage to be fun. And if you're not currently having a lot of fun, if you're not laughing a lot together, I bet there was a time in your relationship where you were. What were you doing in that season to have a little bit of fun? Go back and do that. So the F is for fun. The R is for reliability. Reliability just means this, in order for a friend to be a friend, they have to be dependable. You have to be able to count on the person that you call a friend. Marriage is no different. We need to be reliable. We need to keep our word. They need to know we're going to be consistent with our emotions, with our words we use, with how we treat them, with the way that we interact. We need reliability. And what's funny about this word a little bit is when we're talking about love and romance and those kind of relationships is we talk a lot about falling in love. And when relationships break, we also use the term we fall out of love. And I don't love that language. It makes me cringe just a little bit, because when we say we've fallen out of love, what we're really saying is that falling out of love is something that has happened to me, not because of me. And that's what reliability is. Reliability is a commitment to be a better friend to your spouse. The I is for intimacy. And not so much like the physical intimacy, but just the deep heart-to-heart, mind-to-mind, soul-to-soul connection where you are fully known and fully loved. when Rachel and I, in our early years, we were part of a marriage group, a group. We were with a couple that mentored us a lot. There's a couple other couples in there as well. It was an awesome group. But one night we were driving home from that, and our conversation was a little more tense. As we're driving home, Rachel looks over me as I'm driving, and she says, "Are you happy?" And my answer was like, "Well, yeah. I'm actually really happy. I love you, I love our marriage, and I love life. Like, thanks for asking." I kept driving, and as I was driving, I felt her countenance start to change a little. And so this thought crept into my head like, oh, wait a minute. Should I ask her the same question? I know, dumb guy over here. I'm not the smartest guy around. And then I thought, I'm not sure I want to ask her that question, but I got up the courage. I said, "Hey, Rach, how are you happy?" To which she did not respond in the same way. In fact, come to find out, she was actually really miserable. And I was dumbfounded. Like, I had no idea. That didn't make any sense to me. How can I be so happy and contented and she be so miserable? Well, the reason is because we were not connected on an intimacy level. I was enough for me, but she needed something completely different from me than what I wasn't able to give her. And here's what I think it boiled down to for us and for many couples. What she needed more of in order for our intimacy to grow was for us to communicate better. And there's 3 levels of communication. And I'm really good at the first 2. I had a lot to grow on the first one. The first is just when you share facts. You talk about the weather. You talk about what's happening. The next level of communication is when you share opinions with each other, what you think about those facts that you happen to be talking about. But the third level, and for many of you guys, but also this is true for some of you ladies as well, is it's much harder for you to share your feelings, how you feel about what's happened, how you feel about what you think should have happened. And if you're anything like me, it's not like that I necessarily don't want, I mean, sometimes I don't want to share my feelings because I hate being vulnerable, but sometimes I don't even slow down long enough to think about what I'm feeling, to feel what I'm feeling. Here's where the strength of that plays out. I've gotten better over the years. And just in the past couple of weeks, I was having a rough day. And Rachel could tell. She asked me how I was doing. I said, not great. But I kind of walked away from the conversation and didn't go any further. Gave her a few of the facts. As we're getting ready for the bed that night, I really wanted to go to sleep. She asked again. Hey, she said, "Is there anything I can do for you?" And so I knew this was my opportunity. I needed to tell her how I was feeling about what was going on. And immediately felt way better about the situation. And what was even better the next morning as I was getting ready for the day, she sent me a quick text. And basically her text was a quick prayer because of what I was feeling and what I was thinking. And in her text, she basically just said this: "Hey, I see you, I heard you, I love you, and I believe in you. You're gonna do great." And I'm not a person who usually cries, but as soon as I read, I just got some tears in my eyes because it totally changed my outlook for the day. That text never would have happened. Her ability to love me would have never happened had I not gone to a deeper level of intimacy through that third level of communication. In order for our friendship to grow, we have to learn to be intimate with each other and communicate well. Here's the fourth one. The fourth one is encouragement. We need to learn to encourage our spouse, to help build them up. This is what Ephesians 5, chapter 25 and 26 says. "Husbands, love your wives just as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her to make her holy." Your job as a husband and your job as a wife is to make your spouse more holy. Right? All that means is holiness just means they're becoming more and more like Jesus, more and more like the person they were intended to become. How are you encouraging your spouse in their faith? Are you helping them grow in their trust in Jesus? Are you helping call out all those things in their life that reflect who God is? That's our job in marriage. Encourage towards holiness. The N in friend is needs. In order for any friendship to go, you always have to be cognizant and being intentional in meeting the needs of your spouse. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that because I think we talk quite a bit about that, but meeting your spouse's needs and being intentional about that is incredibly important. It's one thing to ask the question of your spouse, are you happy? Which you should do. It's another thing to ask this question. It requires much more commitment on your part. Am I meeting your needs? Could be the question your marriage needs, the question the friendship in your marriage needs to go to the next level. Here's the last one. The D just stands for direction. Here's the thing about friendship. One of the dynamics about friendship is that friendship can never merely be about itself. Friendship is always based around a shared experience, a shared interest, a hobby, or a shared mission. Your marriage needs a mission. And for many of us, when we have kids, our kids become our mission. And that's a great thing. That's a really awesome thing. But what happens when that mission moves out of your house? I think it's important to remember that God made your marriage for more than just you. Your marriage is about more than just your life and your own happiness and your own holiness. It has a mission. In Ephesians chapter 5, verse 31 and 32, it's quoting from Genesis 2. It says, "For this reason, a man will leave his father and mother and be united to his wife, and the two will become one flesh." I like that word, one flesh, two people becoming one. Where you were individuals, now you're one couple. In Deuteronomy 6, chapter 6, verse 4, that word for one flesh that we read in Genesis 2 and here in Ephesians 5 is used actually in a prayer. In fact, it's the most important prayer of the Jewish faith. It's the Shema. It's from Deuteronomy 6:4. And here's how the prayer starts. It says, "Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one." In the same way that you two become one, God is three in one. There's something about how you two come together in oneness that is created and designed to reflect the oneness of God. So question, is your marriage contributing to the brokenness of this world? Or is it contributing to the oneness of the world? Because that's the mission your marriage was for. In fact, your marriage is a sermon. It's a sermon that you are preaching, whether you realize it or not, to everyone around you. And what are others seeing in you? What are others observing in you that tells them about God, that shows them who God is, the incredible way that he loves us? Many years ago, my wife and I, we had neighbors, and it was a family that we dearly loved. It was a family that did not have Christ in their lives. But it's a family we did a lot of things with. We were at their house a little bit, they were at our house a little bit, and we were always inviting them to church. We were always sharing Jesus with them as much as we felt it was appropriate. But they never really took the bait until one of their kids got a little bit older. About 13 years after we had met them, I get a call from her one day. She's in her 20s now, and she's ready to get married. And she says, "Dave, I'm just wanting to know if, one, will you marry us? But secondly, my fiance and I want to have a great marriage. And I saw that in you and Rachel. Could you show us how to get there?" Your marriage has the same purpose. How are you tending the friendship in your marriage? Because your friendship is really going to set the foundation for the quality of your marriage, and I believe for God to do incredible things in your marriage. So here's the question I'd encourage you to ask your spouse this week. Of all these 6 areas, fun, reliability, intimacy, encouraging each other, meeting each other's needs, and then agreeing on a direction, a mission, a purpose for your marriage, which one of those areas do we need to grow in? Talk about that this week. God, I thank you for these, all that are watching today. God, would you help them be reliable to commit to being a better friend in their marriage. And because of that, would you bless them? Would you bless their marriages? And would you use their marriages to show others who you are? It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thanks again for joining us today. We hope you heard something today that has inspired you to follow Jesus, maybe for the first time, or maybe grow in your relationship with him by taking a next step in your faith journey. If you've been around NewPointe much at all, you probably noticed that next steps are a big deal around here. If you're ready to take your next step, or you would just like more information, visit newpointe.org/nextstep. And while you're there, check out our in-person and online options for Discover NewPointe. It's another great place to learn about taking your next step. If you made a decision for Jesus today, or just need someone to talk to, we'd love to hear about it and want to be there for you. Feel free to reach out to us through DM, comment below, or by visiting our website at newpointe.org/contact us. We hope something that you've heard today has impacted and inspired you. If so, would you share it with a friend? This service in the ministry of NewPointe is only made possible thanks to the generosity of others. So if you would like to partner with us in inspiring people to follow Jesus, visit newpointe.org or download our mobile app to give there. If you already give, we want to thank you for that. Your faithful giving is making an incredible impact. To see more content like this, please follow us on our social channels and like and subscribe to keep up to date with everything NewPointe. Once again, thank you for joining us today. We hope you have a great week and we can't wait to see you again next time.